does guitar. I play piano every day. You know what? Today we're going to work a little bit in music theory, and we're going to talk about scales again, because we're going to talk about triads. Triads are chords. And let's talk about these. And what are chords? Let's define chords. A chord is a combination of several, usually 3 or more tones sounded together. If they are sounded separately, like here's some tones sounded together, that's a chord. If they're sounded separately, right, that's an arpeggio. And on the guitar, this would be an arpeggio. Right, that's an A minor arpeggio. Let's see, a triad is a 3-note chord, okay? That's a C major chord. That's an A minor chord, okay? So a C major chord. Let's do that again. Right? Or A minor. Let's see, that's not all the notes. Okay, there you go. But normally, when you're playing that C major chord, you're playing those 3 notes, and then you're playing 2 other notes. Well, what are those? What are those 5 notes? Well, 2 of them are C's, 2 of them are E's, and 1 is an A. What am I saying? Is a G. C, E, G, C, E. Those are the notes. C, E, G, C, E. But how do we get chords? I just want you to know that when we have a scale, okay, and I always go back to C major because there's no sharps or flats, so it's really easy to understand. Right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. We take that note, C note, and if we play every other note in the scale, right? Every other note, C, skip over D, play E, skip over F, play G. C, E, G. That is the first note in the scale. C is the first note. C is the first chord in the scale. Okay? So, you can play that on your guitar. Oop. Just like this. Right? That's a complete C chord that you normally learn when you're learning guitar. Okay, if you go to the next note, if you play D, F, A, that's every other note in the scale, right? You get a D minor chord. Alright, I usually play it like this. Sometimes as a bar chord. If you play them in order, there's your D minor chord. The next one is E. E, G, B. Okay? That's the 3rd chord in the scale. Now we call these, like, the C chord would be the 1 chord. The D chord would be called the 2 chord, the D minor. The E minor would be called the E, the 3 chord. The F, right, F-A-C, those are the 3 notes in the scale. That's the 4 chord. The G is the 5 chord. Normally we play it, you know, like a G chord like that or something, or as a bar chord. We don't usually play it like this. So you got that. A minor. There we go. A, C, E. That's the 6th chord. And then we've got B, D, F, which is the B diminished chord. Let's see here. How do I play that? There we go. I don't usually play it like that, but we can play it like that. And then the next note is C again. C, E, G. Okay, and those are the chords in the C major scale. Every major scale, this is really key, okay, you got to know this. Every major scale does the same kind of thing. There's 7 different notes, 8 notes when you go from C to C, or from D to D, or from E to E, right? all of the chords, there's a 1 chord, a 2 chord, a 3 chord, a 4 chord, a 5 chord. They're all in the major scales. The 1 chord is major, the 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 4 is major, 5 is major, 6 is minor, 7 is diminished, and then you're back to 1 again. Now, that's the way that every scale, major scale, works, okay? And you really need to know this. Let's bring the camera over here to the piano and I'll show you what it looks like on the piano. Okay, now there's your C major scale from C to C, and when we play C, E, G, just like that, that's not how I play it. I mean, I always play it like this, but if I do that, you can't see my hand, so I'm just going to come down here. See that? Every other note in the scale, like that. And there they are. Those are the chords. C major, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and back to C. Do you know what's really important about these chords and these scales is that if you do the same thing on D major or E major, they will all be the same. The D chord will be major, the next note in the scale, which will be E, will be minor, E minor in the D major scale. And then the next one, which will be F sharp, will be F sharp minor. And the next one, which is the fourth note in the scale, the fourth chord, will be a G major chord. Okay, so it's the same, excuse me. So it's the same every scale. So once you learn it, then you know it. So now those 3 notes, C, E, G, okay, the lower one is called the root, the middle note is called the third, and the top note is called the 5th. Root, third, 5th, okay, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 5. Think of it as a tree, all right? This is a really, really important concept for you to understand. A chord is like a tree. The root, where are the roots on a tree? In fact, I could show you, we could show you right here what the trees look like in my yard. Let's take you outside and show you. Okay, it's a little windy out here, so it's not going to sound that great. Maybe I'll have to overdub this. Okay, so right there is a tree. There's a tree in my yard right there. Can you see that? All of the trees, in fact, do not have their leaves. All right, it looks like a big stick. That's all it is. Any of the trees that you can look at. Look at that. That's amazing. There's a whole bunch of birds up there. Anyway, the trees that are out here do not have their leaves, right? So why is this so important? Well, we'll talk about it. This is important because the roots, which are underground, support the tree. The root of a chord supports the chord. So the root is down at the base of the tree, right? It supports the tree. The root of a chord is the base of the chord. Okay, so I've got a C chord here. And that's what it sounds like if you play it on the guitar. Like that. So I'm just going to play it on the piano because it's right? Now, the C is the root. I can double the root. I can put lots of big, and it sounds really good. Now, the third on that chord that I just played, I took out that upper third, that upper three, the E, and I only have one E playing in that chord. And it sounds really good. And the E is called the third. It's also like the trunk of the tree, okay? It supports the tree. The third gives us the quality of the chord. It's what determines major and minor. If I take the third, which is the E, and I make it into an E flat, that's taking it down a half step, it turns into a minor chord. Right? Right? It's really kind of mysterious and dark. But if I keep it as a major chord, maybe I should bring you over here closer so you can see what I'm doing. Right? Major chord is happy. It sounds like that. Okay? Now, the top of the chord, the fifth of the chord, which is the G, is like the leaves on the tree. Okay? Now, since it's March and the leaves are not out yet here where I live, leaves are like the beauty of the tree. They look really pretty. I love leaves. I love green trees. Well, guess what? You can take the third off just like you can take the leaves off of a tree and it won't die. The chord will not die. There's a chord, a C chord. It's got 3 C's and it's got an E. And there's no fifth. No fifth. Sounds just great. If I put the fifth in, which is the G, I'll put 2 of them in. It fills out the chord. It adds to the beauty of the chord. It sounds beautiful. This is a very important concept for you to understand, because when you are writing music, when you are playing music, and you want your chord to be balanced. You can have like 2 or 3 C's in a chord, but don't have a bunch of E's, the thirds, if it's a C chord. If you have too many E's, then it's going to start sounding like an E chord instead of a C chord. But the C's, the roots, you can have as many roots as you want. And the G, there's only one G in that chord right there. Sounds beautiful. Let's see. Here's a C chord. There's only 1/3 in that chord. That one right there. There's 3 roots, 2 fifths, 1/3. Okay? It's a good balance. That's just a regular bar chord. That's what they're designed to do. That's why they sound so good. It's because they are balanced naturally. You don't have to know how to balance them. They just are balanced. But if you know about that, then you can choose what you want to do. And that's the whole thing behind theory, is that you can choose exactly what you want to do with the chord, with the music that you play, in a band situation or in a solo situation. And when you know what to do and how to balance things and what to bring out and what to suppress, which notes to use, and we'll talk about this more later also, about the most important notes and how to balance a chord and things like that, then you are awesome. Okay, you are awesome anyway because you're learning about this. Thank you for coming by. Come and see us at Patreon, become a patron there, and get more perks. And I will answer questions over there faster than I answer them here on YouTube. I love my YouTube audience, I really do. But honestly, the people that pay me more and get my attention that way get more help from me directly. I have online students. You can become one of those if you want to. I have local students. For my local students, thank you for being here. And I have internet students, and appreciate you. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.